Welcome to Always in Escrow with Colby Burchin and Sarina Appel. Hello, Colbs. How are you?
How are you? I'm having a great day today.
I am fired up because we are talking to the one and only Michael Heller.
It's good to be here amongst familiar faces and friends. And I don't know if she told you how we connected, but it was through Instagram. I, wrote her a message of, what's going on and didn't even know about this podcast. And here we are today. So it's great to be on and, watching you guys kill it. And it's great to be, part of this.
I want our audience to know that Mike Heller is the principal and founder of Talent Resources Holdings. Okay, so he is a visionary. He started his career in entertainment law, where he oversaw and negotiated opportunities for brands to garner celebrity support, and he managed commercial work for stars such as Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, and Rachel Hunter. And through these experiences, Michael established deep relationships and connections within the entertainment industry and quickly realized that there weren't many active facilitators bridging the gap between brands and talent. He founded Talent Resources, and based on that success, he established Talent Resources Sports and most recently, TR Ventures. He's considered a visionary, and we know that is true in the world of influencer, celebrity, and social media marketing. And he's a leading voice for the industry, and he's appeared all over TV and print. Welcome to the show, Mike Heller.
Wow, I feel like I'm running into like a boxing. You're an amazing host, amazing voice, and gets everything going. So, I'd love to answer any questions you have. Tell you a little bit about, the start of everything, but I'm here to be involved. So let me know.
I want to tell everyone on our podcast that, Sarina and I grew up in Manhattan with Mike Heller, and literally I think of you as the one and only. Like, you threw the best parties, my childhood memories. Club Paradise was above and beyond anything that anyone has ever experienced. So I want to thank you personally for all those amazing childhood memories, okay?
Thank you so much. I wish my wife was in the room because she doesn't understand, from time to time people come up, they're like, Club Paradise. And my wife's like, wasn't that like a strip club? What's Club Paradise? And by the way, it was a strip club. Not what I did, but we used to get phone calls. So we had to make sure that we protected the kids that were coming to Club Paradise, which was, really the first safe haven and membership club. Now you read in today's, papers, New York City's become all membership. And, that's all that anyone's talking about. It's only, I guess, 30 years later.
Right. So I'm going to dive into the question, how did Talent Resources come about?
So I had a really interesting past in the sense that I started working when I was 15, Club Paradise being one of the first jobs I had. And I was always self-taught and always, an entrepreneur. Even when I was a little kid, I used to sell shells on the beach. So always had a knack for figuring out how to bring people together and make money. Club Paradise was the beginning, just bringing people together. Then I went into the nightclub business. I had the, amazing experience working with the Tao Group. At the time, it was Jason and Noah, which we all know,
Yep.
Icons of New York. And from there, they let me run the VIP rooms of the nightclubs, met a lot of different celebrities, including Rachel Hunter, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton. And from there, I realized that I wanted to take it to the next level. I became a lawyer focused on entertainment law, specifically in the category of commercial work. So did a bunch of deals for club appearances, DJ appearances, store appearances, red carpets, you name it. And I met the celebrities from the VIP, rooms that I used to, work when I was in law school and then after law school. And after a while, I got the phone call from Lindsay Lohan saying, I want you to be my commercial manager. I want you to move to Los Angeles. And I was like, Lindsay, I'm a lawyer. I can't. She's like, trust me, you know what I'm about. And I'm going to make you a lot of money. just, change. I want you by my side. And, I did it. And, I'm all about taking chances and rolling the dice. And from there, I managed her for 5 years. It was one of the most insane experiences ever, traveling the world. I was probably, each trip was probably costing a couple $100,000 of someone else's money, going first class. And I was in my 20s. I think I was like 27, 28. Just going World Music Awards with Michael Jackson. And I had to like literally make the introduction to Lindsay and Michael and, bring them on, make sure they got on stage with Chris Brown for the first time, coming out and performing. Or we were with Kate Bosworth at Tommy Hilfiger's store opening in Paris that, they heard that Lindsay was in London and they sent a private plane for us to come to do the Paris opening. And it's just like, it's when with all difference, like Rachel Hunter, I went to Dubai when Dubai first, really opened up for a car show. And then we're in Dubai, I get a phone call from a talent booker in Australia. Hey, can you come to Australia? We have the Melbourne Cup and we see that you're in Dubai. We'd like to fly Rachel Hunter and you, and pay your fees. And, that just went on and on for many years. I then, did everything for Paris Hilton. We traveled all over Australia together. So I had Paris, Lindsay, Rachel Hunter, really, pop culture icons. And it was at the same time that paparazzi started really, following them around. And the reason they were following them around is because digital came into play. Right. So you can be a paparazzi, take a picture. That picture then can be sold to the news outlets over, through an amazing network. And all of a sudden that one picture that, was, took 5 minutes for the photographer to take and get, would bring them in millions of dollars because it would be syndicated piece of content. And I watched that happen and I, decided, I want to come up with a business that really takes advantage of what's happening in the digital world. This is pre-social media. So we started what I call Talent Resources. It's a resource for talent. I brought on a gentleman named Matt Kirshner, who was with me, 15 years later, 16 years later. He's now a partner. And, he was 10 years younger than me. And he, was the one that got me into social media. He's like, wait a minute, you think digital's great? Facebook and, Twitter, like these are places that we're going to be able to make money. And what we would do is we would position the talent in different situations, like maybe walking out of Century 21, the store place. And there'd be, I remember I had Kim Kardashian with two big Century 21 bags. And we became the paparazzi. We would take the picture, make sure she liked it, and then we would send it off and syndicate it out. And instead of taking money from the brands, what we did was, from the publications that were buying it for, content from the paparazzi, we would take the content and give it to them for free as long as they mentioned the brand's name.
Wow.
Yes.
So smart.
If you put a hyperlink. So all of a sudden, Century 21 is the place that every celebrity shops because we got Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Mario Lopez, you name it. And they would show up in the different, Us Weeklies and all the magazines, but also all the digital platforms that they had that became so powerful. And then came social media. So once that happened, I already knew the power. Yeah. And I was going to brands and saying, you know what, forget about your website. Let's focus on your Instagram. And they were looking at me like kind of what I feel like is going on now with metaverse and, great. What internet? What are you talking about? What do you mean Instagram? Like, what is Instagram? And I was literally showing them on my phone. And we used to do videos to explain to brands. And I remember like one of the videos, the first video was like, Instagram has 20 million followers. And that number was gigantic. And, Kim Kardashian has 300,000 followers. Do you understand that's the same as a publication? And every 6 months, I had to change the video because it went from 10 million to 100 million, 100 million to 500 million. And it was just such a rapid growth of eyeballs on their phone. Mobile started evolving with, better content, better pictures, better cameras. And then, it just took over. And so the landscape changed. At the same time, the landscape was changing. So was, television content. So you had reality TV now. We had Jersey Shore. We had the beginning of Housewives. So all these different television programs were coming in play, and we were starting to figure out how to find, less expensive ways for a brand to interact and, be elevated, through these, through Instagram, through these digital platforms. And then so Town Resources came into play. I started it about 16 years ago, and its focus was really bridging brands with celebrities and influencers. And then from there, I partnered up with a gentleman named Dave Spencer. He's now been he was one of my oldest friends. He's family to me. That started, we were friends when we were, 15 years old. He also promoted with me, and he had just an unbelievable understanding of sports. So he came on and created Town Resources Sports. And then, recently we have Town Resources Ventures, which kind of takes what we do in the sports world with, athletes like Steph Curry and Draymond Green and LeBron. And also, in the talent world, we just got done with a campaign with the whole entire Kardashian and Jenner family, Mandy Moore, Eva Longoria. So all those relationships and networks, and using those to figure out interesting opportunities on the venture side. And then taking my agency's relationships, which is really, any type of influencer in the world that makes an impact, we've probably done a deal with, because we're agnostic. We don't represent any talent. We're just constantly bridging the brands with talent. And so, we're using that network to really get into some amazing opportunities. Some so far, we got into Beyond Meat very early on, before it went public, and then, sold it at a good price. We went into Weed Maps, which was, is one of the leading downloaded apps for marijuana. It's a technology for weed smokers to find dispensaries, and, it bridges dispensaries with consumers. So we came on and helped them with their marketing, and invested. U Kitchen, the chocolate brand, which is a better for you chocolate. Dream Pops, a company called Half Day, which is a better for you iced tea. Another company called Oza, which we just announced the partnership with Joe Jonas. We launched his own cranberry sangria. So it's like now, all these new opportunities where we can actually take our expertise, take our leadership and knowledge and our staff that are all amazing at what they do and all very experienced, and put it towards these, new founders that have unbelievable opportunities to really grow fast. And we invest in the founders and their products. It's not seed. I call it the influencer round. It's right before Series A, but it's not it's not like they're just starting to roll the product out. The product's out and they're raising money because they're growing so fast. And that's what we look for.
Fast emerging, right? And I just had a question about like the evolution, right? So you already had this vision way back. Now, here we are where brands are not only partnering with celebrities, but celebrities are now creating their own brands, their own beauty companies.
So, and you're seeing this with leaders like, Kim Kardashian. She's launched her own brands. Kylie Jenner launched her own brands. Out of, most people that I've worked with, Kris Jenner is such a solid rock in the industry and such a visionary herself that she realized, I don't want my daughters to just get checks. I want them to own something. I want them to have equity. And, they picked the things that they really believed in and built, conglomerates. I mean, look at what, Puffy did with his with Ciroc. It's when you see these celebrities really, really embraced, and it's not just a check, and it's not just, hey, we need to borrow your face and your name and likeness, and we're doing a photo shoot and they get a check. Those things don't work anymore. The consumer is so smart, and they know when a talent's really behind a brand. So I think that this is the direction, and that all these opportunities are going to be starting to go in, or more so than ever before. Am I seeing this? And I think it's the way to go. They're taking advantage of their network, their own relationships. So, Joe Jonas, for example, he came into the deal with Oza, and all of a sudden, he got on the phones with Walmart and he closed 2,000 doors because they knew, wow, he's here promoting a drink that we know that he's involved with. and he's a part of, and it's not just a check, and that's why he's on the phone with us.
Right. There's really that investment. Yeah. I have the opportunity to work with Troy Aikman on the launch of his beer. And, he's really behind the brand and pushing the product, getting it into the hands of his friends like The Rock and others all across the industry who are, picking it up.
I'm seeing a lot of that now. And, so about, I'd say 4 years ago is when we started this arm. And, we work with, some of the most amazing strategics in the world. There's a gentleman named Justin Mateen, who's one of the founders of Tinder. He's a soundboard and invests with alongside us on a lot of the deals. We have Austin Rosen from Electric Field that, he's a visionary himself. And, he's also the manager of Post Malone. So we're working with such great people that have a different type of network that we have, and, kind of networking it all together. And, we're seeing unbelievable evolution of these brands and elevations of these brands.
Right. And aligning the brands and the celebrities and just even, that's how you're wired, right? And now you can see, it's continuing, all that alignment across the board.
I used to say, hey, I have talent resources sports, I have talent resources, I have talent resource communications, which is our PR arm. And it was just getting very hard to explain. So that's why we put it all into a holdings company. And so it's all individually separate, but it's all, everyone works together.
Right. There's consistency, right? And so much of that is all these companies need consistency, transparency as we work together.
That, when you have a communications division, and I have, some of the most amazing people behind it. I have one lady named Tiffany that, she was overlooking, everything in Hollywood for the big movie production houses. I have another, it's just the PR itself is just made up of a melting pot of unbelievable people. The woman that started is a woman named Bonnie. Bonnie Taylor was a client of ours at Dunkin'. She headed up Dunkin's communication. We were doing a lot of talent procurement for them. And she was just always, busting, pushing us to get, better ideas, pushing us to think out of the box. And so, one day I was just like, Bonnie, I need you with us. So, we were lucky to get her to, to leave the company that she was at to come to work with us. She's thrived. And, the sports division, led by Dave Spencer, he is just, he's the one that's getting the phone call from Steph Curry to come, to his camp or to help out on his charity golf tournament. And we just got done doing the Steph Curry ESPY event at one of Tao's locations. And it was insane. It was great. And now we're doing a lot of, of the live events for Steph Curry. So all these things, it's making sure we stay in the right lanes, but I have experts in each of those lanes driving. It's not me driving. I'm giving my understanding and experience, but it's the people that are driving, like the Daves and the, Bonnies and the Matt Kirshners. And, these are the people that I'm relying on that I don't have to think about. I know they know what they're doing. So when I bring the opportunities to the table, I know where to put them and that I don't have to think about it again.
So Mike, I have a question, and I'm putting you on the spot because I'm sure these podcasters would want to know this, okay? Our podcast listeners. What has been the best celebrity to partner with?
Look, we just did a deal with Eva Longoria, world-renowned, brand, name and brand herself.
Yep.
She was so professional. She was so, she cared about everything that was going on. You could tell, she had the same hairstylist, which was Ken, what's his last name? Major.
Pave.
Yes. She just kept her crew. And, when the talent keeps their team, then that, it's so important because they know the talent. They know everything. It's not it's a lot of celebrities these days, you see their teams switching up and, it's very bad, so it's when they have, a loyal team behind them, it's amazing. So Ava was amazing to work with. The Kardashians are amazing to work with. We just did a big deal with Kevin Hart. He was hilarious to work with. So it's like it's all these different talents. And through time, we find the ones that aren't great to work with, and we don't work with them again.
Right.
Or we
Right.
at least let the teams, the brands that are coming to us for our expertise know, look, this person, might have a great name, but they are impossible to work with. And we suggest that you don't. We're happy to go after them, but we suggest that you don't. And we'll find other people that, will be much easier to work with.
So give a little synopsis here for someone graduating professional school, college, whatever it may be. How do they break into the industry? What would you recommend for someone? Because it is so hard to get into an industry like yours. What would be your advice to these people?
I always tell people that work for me or intern for me, and that's a big part of our, business is the internship, is making sure we run a good internship program. I always tell them to go for companies that are small, and nimble, because when you go to these bigger agencies, you're not getting any experience. You're stuck in a mailroom. So get your hands dirty. Find companies that are willing to listen to you and let you get your hands dirty. In my company, the most valuable eyes and ears to the ground are my interns, because they're the youngest ones and they're the ones that are most up to date with Snap, Insta Reels. Like, you need to be, it's funny, like the older you are, the less valuable you are in my industry. So I always stay, current by making sure that I have extremely bright young people involved and part of my, orbit, like letting me know. And I ask them, I'm very, aggressively ask, what do you guys think I need to do? What can we do to be more current? What platforms are we not looking at? What, tools are we not using? And you'd be surprised. That's our future.
I agree. So I see that you're now investing in fast emerging consumer brands. What are you looking for out of these brands? How do you keep your eyes open? Are you just reading? Are you looking, connecting, people coming to you? How does that all happen?
It's really a mixture. We have a gentleman named Mitchell who runs all the venture deals, and he has a squad that goes through probably 20, 30 deals a week. And then they present us every 2 weeks, the top deals. And they're coming from either people referring us, other companies that we invested in. So the founder of Dream Pops, this guy, David, he is an entrepreneur. He's unbelievable. He just closed a major round with some of the biggest names in the industry. Michael Rubin just invested in him from Fanatics. I think he has David Grubman, just big names in the industry, that are in part of culture. And he's constantly sending me brands to look at. We also are searching on Instagram and other social channels like TikTok, and we're looking for, brands that we see are trending. And we have technology that also helps us. And we're at the point now, which I'm proud to say, 15 years later, that we can literally message, the brands from their social saying, Talent Resources Ventures would like to speak to you. And we get I'd say 95% of the time they respond.
That's a call you want to take. Yep.
Which is great, because I have a great team that, has built the brand that I have now, that we get those calls and we get those responses. And what I've been, looking to focus on now, what I focus on is, once we've identified the brands, I'm now looking for the right people that are behind the brands. So right away, I'm meeting with the founders. Do I like them or not like them? Do they have a vision? Do they not have a vision? Are they raising a bunch of money so that they can get that office on, on Fifth Avenue? Are they buying a Ferrari? What's driving them? And, that's one of the deals I invested in was a company, that company Oza. The founder of Oza is a guy named Ryan. He came and drove from Boston to meet me, and, wouldn't leave until, I actually sat down with him. And the minute I sat down with him, and I saw he came with a cooler, with the drinks in it. And, he gathered the whole, company together, that was in the New York office, and had them drink it. and everyone was just like a major fan. And the way he interacted with my office and the people around, and the fact that he was willing to drive in from Boston, showed me that this guy cared.
Right.
And now that company, when we invested, was at below $4 million valuation. They're going to raise this year at $150 million.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Best in class. We're talking best in class with Michael Heller.
This has been amazing.
Listen, friend, we are so glad you came on. We are thrilled. Thanks for coming all the way from, thanks for tuning in and for joining the show. We're happy to see you. And we love what you're doing. We're following every turn.